16% of the national envelope
Mhm.
of government. As we speak now today, as the debate is ensuing between a group called the Constitutional Actors, which we want to say they are an illegal group. This group,
They do say they have the articles of incorporation.
I'm coming there. This group, they are called the National Farmers. They are called the National Rubber Brokers Union and Farmers. Okay?
That's the original name for them.
That they did.
Why are they hiding under the nomenclature consortium?
They are shielding their name because they have the big hands. You just talk about the Bronco Group and others who are carrying out smuggling this unprocessed rubber, which is harming our economy and robbing deserving Liberians of jobs, opportunities, and depriving Liberian government of a needful taxes. We have come to age. Why should we continue to send raw rubber? Only Liberia alone.
So the difference between you and consortium is that you advocate for the empowerment of farmers and the value addition to rubber in Liberia.
Absolutely.
So this group focus is exportation. So you bring more to the table than consortium. Is that what you say?
Consortium and they are middlemen, excuse me. They go to the various farms and buy rubber. Rubber must be sold and bought at a farm gate. Okay? But they go right in your village and town.
Farm gate is what?
Farm gate is where you carry your rubber to sell. For example, at Firestone.
The stations.
The stations. Thank you. And that's what we do. But they go right there, thinking that, they have sympathy for the farmer. And then they buy this rubber, 50 pounds, 20 pounds, as much you have. By this, our workers on our farms have been encouraged to get into, stealing, let me use that word, get into improprieties. That if you expect them to bring 50 pounds of rubber a day, a tax, they will end up bringing you 30. And it will start ringing the bell. What is happening? Behold, they will, after they get the production, they will sneak it on the side because they know where the agent of this group that call themselves National Rubber, who call themselves Consortium of Actors, they are agents for unprocessed rubber exporters. And they buy the rubber. By this, you start experiencing decline. And theft is not alarming at local rubber farms because of what is happening. But when this band of 124 is biting them, because where do you take the rubber? The processors need the rubber. As the processors need the rubber, the more rubber they get, they increase the shifts. If you're running one shift for 8 hours, you increase your shift by 12 hours. You add another shift. And this brings more job creation for our citizens. This is what we support in the industry. We call for the latest modern clones that high yielding, that bring more production, more latex, is what we talk about. Fair market price and building the capacities of our small farmers. Unlike them, they are just there to get the produce, to get the commodity and make the money. These are middlemen, they don't care. This is not hurting them. They don't care. We that in the business, we know what is going on. We know what is going on. As a result of this, Liberia has lost nearly 100,000 tons on metric tons over the last 4 years because of the unrestricted and unregulated exportation of unprocessed rubber. So we are very much thankful for the magnanimous gesture of former President Weah and his cabinet to take that bold decision at the time because there was a revenue shortfall. Our national envelope, 2021, 2022, 2022, 2023. We know what have occurred. So this is the basis for which I think we have come to make the public to know that it's essential and important and vital that unprocessed rubber should not leave.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great. I'll make what a minute last. Mr. Tukba, you want to inject?
Yeah, thank you. As the Vice President Boris Asquale, that's recent time, we have been working the past 2-3 years or so. We have GPNRS global platform for sustainable rubber farming. We're training the local farmers to get better price for their farm in the future, that how to farm. And beside that, also giving it the latest Chrome. Of the 15 countries, we have almost 9 or 11 of them will have introduced a newer Chrome and talking to farmers. Our coordinators, we are engaged with them. And also through our partners, we have been able to open the eyes of the people.
Mhm.
And the previous president have office, built office in 1966. Or right now, we have an office,
Mhm.
but the custodians of Europe or we don't know that office. And as the Bani put it squarely, no farmer, really a rubber farmer, will be in the street running up and down the city or demonstrating. So what I will sit here, most of the farmers are on the farm working this morning. But what we are asking the government is that any decision you take to lift or the ban or the extent is that it should be a forum that represented by rubber plant associations to give you the insight.
Mhm.
Because it will give you the details and everything in 1 hour time will not be able to say we need about 2, 3, 4 hours. Like country like Sri Lanka, they make more money for that rubber than Liberia.
I understand that
And
the rubber that the consortium facilitate the exportation of goes to Malaysia. So in essence, you're empowering the economy of Malaysia.
yeah, and some of them they pick up from here and the agents will take it to Nigeria for processing to further shipping. So you will give job to other African countries. So let me say this to them. And some of our friends and brothers are in the business. We tell them when I help Liberia, the only way that country like Ivory Coast, they came here in the 80s to learn about rubber. Today they are number 3 in the world. Exported last year report is 1.4 million metric ton. And while 2021 we had 212,000, we asked the RRB International Rubber Board that we will be at 350,000 by 2023.
Mhm.
Today we stay at that rate because what the raw rubbers or shipment is not kept under our export. So these are things we are encouraging them to ask the buyer to come and settle the factory here. And competition is in the market. And also we need to know these or people, the actors who are calling themselves custodian, because we know that the rubber broker union were banned by the previous government because the theft rate was high and local farmer cannot even go on their own farm and because criminal chasing them. If you have somebody who just buying or anywhere to go in the community, you don't have a farm. We talk about it now. The world as is a global village. We talk everybody who deal with rubber, we talk about traceability.
Mhm.
How you would do that. So we are asking the government to sit with them or either not to agree to lift the ban because number one is that how you trace the rubber, where it comes from. You need to know who are the farmers. Some of the manufacturers want to know where the rubber comes from. What are the people actually got a fair price? The only thing you put it squarely is that we need our DFI, our PAL, and the government of Liberia to regulate the price
Mhm.
because countries like Africa is being regulated by government. So if the price is regulated today, the Southcom price, if they say that it's $720, you take like $80 or $110 to be able to processing costs, and the $570 as to their price or so it should be given to a farmer.
Yeah.
It will be fair enough. But we cannot, as from the rubber farm or as a farmer,
Mhm.
to encourage for raw rubber export. But what will happen is I'm now on my farm, and the Christmas season, someone lost or rubber. People go there, they carry we go motorcycle and pull rubber on and go and carry it.
Okay.
A tapper began or seller, and you will not have control. You cannot have maybe 20, 30, 40 tapper you are on a back. So we have an issue.
Okay.
So we have come to tell the government and the stakeholders in the industries that indeed
That the ban should remain.
the ban should remain, and we should be able to have a dialogue with industries and what these people who are in the business to be able to add value to it and to export it.
Okay. Let me hear you, Wilhelmina.
Thank you very much for having us today on the show. With all that has said, the difference between a constituent and that of the Rubber Planter Association, like Bonnie placed it rightly, they are illegal people. They are the middlemen. And they are the same National Broker Union
Mm.
and the rubber farmers are they claim themselves to be. They've been banned, not just now. So with that now, they have come in different nomenclatures and calling themselves different names to make them appear to be different people. But the Rubber Planter Association is added by law since 1966, it being existing, added by law through our legislators.
Mm.
So I was
So you have more legitimacy than any other group.
right. So come back to them
Mm.
with the Rubber Planter Association as body of farmers. Everyone within this group are farmer, rubber farmer. It is not the middle people they are to buy the rubber from the road and then from the various farms and then ship it to the illegal dealers. Like you mentioned, the group from Buffalo.
Mhm.
Recently, they have to relate to the people because I Firestone, before you make a shipment of rubber, your farm number need to be identified.
Mm.
And at that stage, your farm production is also being, alarming. If you had a smaller farm, like 50 acres, and then you're taking 20 tons of rubber to sell, the company there will conscious your credibility,
Mhm.
where the essence of the rubber come from. So they cannot.
That should be a source.
It should be a source. They cannot sell rubber, open it to the company because of the system now being put into place. The traceability.
Mhm.
All rubber that need to be sold out of your country, it need to be traceable. It need to be sustainable products. And that means you need to be compliant with the international law that have to do with the GPNRS, the global platform,
Mhm.
where our country, Liberia, is also a member of these platforms. And also we have membership of the international country producing rubber in the world. We are member of this body. So our rubber need to be certified. We need to be compliant to the law. Now you cannot sell rubber without being traceable where the rubber come from, who are the farmers, how many acres of the farms.
Yeah,
All of these things come in place.
Mhm.
So if you see that differences, and for what the people are doing to Buffalo and to other places buying station along the Burma Road, they can be traceable. They use the broker union to go and purchase the rubber from the farmers some kinds of way and then have it to the factory and where it can never be traceable. And the rubber have been shipped on process. Like you said, we can't keep going this route as a country. So now we're standing with the placement of the moratorium one.
So I don't get it. I don't get it. And any of you can help me. The ban, the moratorium is in place. It didn't just come from anywhere else, but it came from the executive mansion. And still people illegally shipping rubber.
Let me come in there. Let me come in.
And I also understand that 34 containers were shipped illegally from the Freeport of Monrovia in February.
And they are shipping now as rubber produce.
So this is why I call on the government to launch an investigation, especially for that Buffalo area.
You know, my brother, dishonesty and impropriety still exist. There are people who are still defying the resolve of this new government. This government should put on more teeth and shafts to crush whatsoever is illegal. Now, as you just put it, some of them are exporting the illegal, this unprocessed rubber and placing on the manifest.
Why is that?
Excuse
Why
me.
is that?
And they are doing it. And we ask our security that those who are trained, you must be able to scan and investigate and examine every container. We have passed this information. We are sounding it at this platform. We are not a group of people who are going to hold placards and demonstrating. We are calling government's attention. What is robbing government of needed taxes and bringing down the livelihood of farmers who are paying 4% of every sale they make to government? We have our tax and identification numbers. The LRA has it. We are the legal and legitimate group. We're telling you, those who smuggle this our commodity and get the money, because anybody buy at the black market, they give you more. And they hide it behind it's no price. It's not price. It's not price.
So let's weigh in on the
Mhm.
benefits and the advantage that you bring to the rubber sector.
Mhm.
You RPAL and any other group. What are the benefits you bring to the table?
The benefits we bring to the table is to negotiate with concessionaires for the fair market price. You understand me?
Mhm.
Most of all, right now, what it entails is that Liberian rubber stock that we had that were planted 40, 30 years ago, they are no more of high value. So what we call the newest clones, the new varieties, new species of rubber, we have established 8 nurseries in 4 counties and head to another additional 3 counties, Grand Bassa, Bapolu, and Bombing added to the 5 counties. So there are 8. In collaboration with the Rubber Development Fund, we have another entity that we give birth to the RPAL give birth to is the Rubber Development Fund Incorporated, enacted by law in 2016, 2017. It became published into handbills. So all rubber planters, exporters, they contribute to that fund. You
Mhm.
understand me? And this is where we having that money coming from to establish and input new clones in this country. We had the Ivorian people clone their own rubber.
Mm.
They call ICA. It's in an Ivorian name, I don't want to call it. It's the name. They call it ICA. IRCA. It's ICA. ICA, they have cloned up to 7 new clones that give a farmer when you plant, and the lifespan of the tree is just 5 years. It's mature as compared to 7, 8 years we have right now.
Mhm.
Okay? Latest clones. The latest clone. Everybody going for it. That is why we bring it in the country. The nurseries are there in Palala, in other places, in Magdibi, in the Todi area, in Bong. You understand me? Grand Bassa and nurseries going on in Bombing, in Bapolu, and they will extend further. This is the benefits that we are bringing, so that our production will increase from 230,000 tons to 250 to 350 because we made a commitment to the Global Partnership for Sustained Natural Rubber and the International Rubber Research Board, the RRDB. These are the international platforms we subscribe to and we membership. We're bringing this. So Liberia is known. Our latest conference in Abidjan, the World Rubber Summit, Liberia was placed on the map because the extensive research and those things we brought to the table.
Mhm.
No country in the world planted rubber tree without coming to Liberia to come to the botanical research station, either in Firestone or at Guthrie or at Kavala or the Robert Cooper. It was the existence of the Rubber Planters Association. The then president, Totman, at the time, he was a rubber planter. The vice president, William Aratomo, was a rubber planter. The finance minister, William Dennis Senior, was a rubber planter. Then why would they come and say we were not enacted by law? President Thomas signed it. They went in there to the Senate archive and did something and extracted that part. It is hardly incomprehensible to say that we are not enacted by laws. They are there. They are there. If you go to the U.S. embassy, they will tell you. Firestone has that record, and they should not be hiding here anything. This wolf cry that they are doing, they cannot give you one data. They do not have a data. They do not have the headquarters. Tell them, where is your headquarters? We can find you. They run their activity in a briefcase, or they sit at those illegal exporters where they put them to go and find a rubber and bring it. Then they take them at the end of the day. We will not subscribe to that. If government, we are staying at this platform. Government should enforce the ban and make sure to legislate it as Cote d'Ivoire has done. Right now, as I tell you, as an enforcement of this, Cote d'Ivoire has added onto. She brought you last year her envelope from just rubber export 912 million US dollars as compared to 180 million. Liberia. Nigeria is 18.5. It's 80.5. That came to Nigeria. All of our rubber that goes to Nigeria. They already got it. Your scrupulous group, they process it and send it to Malaysia. So tell me, should this thing continue? How long should we stay in this kind of thing? If government is crying when there are very national priorities, How does government support education and health? If they allow these things to go like this, if we had our own way, we do what we say. So we would, if the government is serious, let go the dialogue, let it stand in court a hearing, and we have exhibit all the facts and tell them where we are to be. Cote d'Ivoire, our nowhere. Cote d'Ivoire is succeeding to be the third largest producer and exporter of rubber in the world. As I told you, it's 1.4 million tons a year, metric tons. Of processed rubber living down, you know what the government did? The government asked you to, excuse me, the government, those days before they could enact it into law, $700. That continue. Why the government Liberia actually pay $150 to $180?
Now let's look at the empowerment of these farmers. Then my concern is, how can these manufacturers, these factories,
Processors,
okay,
yes.
we call them processors.
Processors.
How are they helping the farmers? How are they empowering the farmers?
They are giving us they are giving us terms, what we call the clones, the border terms, and give it to us because we are the platform
Okay.
as their own contribution. Because what they call the rubber development, or the contributing to the rubber development fund, like the group in the southeast they call Kavala, is 1% of the overall gross income. They have to give it to government to support farmers. So equally, so we are researching that we wanted there must be uniformity in this kind of concession agreement when it comes to rubber development in this country. Firestone must also contribute 1%. Jetty must contribute 1%. LAC must contribute 1%. Salada Rubber Corporation must contribute 1%. If the bulk of money come, you will see the transformation in the landscape of the rubber landscape in this country. You understand me? Let me make it clear here. Our government is too slow to take action. You understand me? When they know an entity like this, a sector that giving you that kind of chunk in your envelope, you should open your eyes. If today one of the processors close down or suspend operations, it will affect our revenue generation. So I want to pause.
Yeah, because LAC bars 20%. According to the data that I have in my possession. Firestone 60%.
Yes.
League Group, I understand League Group bars 100%, and Jetty needs 100% as well.
That information is false. Lead group is not buying 100%. They are the least.
How many percent?
They are least. They are less than 15%. If the largest plantation concession is buying 60,
Like,
But because they have the farm.
they are
yes.
not buying.
Yeah, go ahead with me now.
so like what the information he providing with the total export of legal depends on the local farmers. They don't have their own plantation.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh,
100% they need the Liberian rubber.
yeah.
Yes.
So the less part with Jetty don't have her own plantation.
Plantation, okay.
So it depends on the farmer, the local farmers, to be able to provide their produce to their farm gate that they will be able to process.
Yeah.
So every exportation of Jetty is full 100% depends on the Liberian farmer.
Sure.
Firestone has partially her plantation.
plantation.
Her plantation.
La has a plantation.
Plantation.
So that's bringing about the percentage issue.
It's clear.
So they are right.
Yeah.
So like with the Rubber Development Fund establishment, the Rubber Development Fund Incorporated, all of the processors contribute towards that fund. Even government, with the 4% that they deduct from the farmers at every farm gate, percent of that should come back into the Rubber Development Fund to develop the Liberian rubber farmer. In terms of being sustainable and in terms of continuing rated. Because if the farm grows to some level, you also need to have some changes or replanting. And with the past trees planted on the farms, they are updated. In other countries, they are no longer existing. But for us, Liberia, we have most of the old trees and even seedlings planted on most of the farms. So now what the RPAL, that is the Rubber Plant Association of Liberia, and that of the Rubber Development Fund doing, is to transform these farms from the older clone to the newer one that take 4 years for maturity instead of 7 to 8 years, and also have high yielding productions. For instance, a smallholder farmer that obtains like 10 acres can be able to produce at least 2 to 3 tons a month, as compared to where we are. You have farmers that have up to 50 acres that cannot even have that much productions. So we are now working with all the farmers across the nations to improve their farm by planting the newer crop. that
Okay.
Ivory Coast have had in abandon. So these are some of the benefits that we give to the farmers. What the brokers are doing, nothing. Who pay them? They rely either to steal from the farmers through the price
What do you
or
mean
other things.
steal?
Because in that little,
Are they not presenting the international price?
Let me come in.
there are so many implications.
There are so many.
There are so many implications. If we say that there are some fair practice, that's why even it was the rubber planter that mandated the president by then, Madam Salif, to issue the moratorium 50 on the scene, the ban on.
So this ban is not new.
No, it's not new.
That's the
We
third
have
one.
this is the third one. We have moratorium 50, we have moratorium 60, and this is 124. So it is not new. The tariff became very high. Then he placed it. These brokers are being insured to go on the various farms to be able to buy locally from the farmers. And most of the people that like the tappers, the drivers, all the people become like grower sellers. So you know that the farmer being affected from their various productions where they cannot even have break even. Now you come to see more farm occur because of all of the practices that is ongoing. So the ban 124 shouldn't be political. We are asking the government that the ban is in place, that we are in support of it. They should see no reason of all leaving the ban. Because all leaving the ban, it had a trickle-down effect on the government revenue, and that are also the farmers increase in terms of production costs of adding security into their various farms. So it is in place. You check for the total revenue collected from November, when the ban was placed in November.
In December.
In November, December, it effectively take place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Within that area, you see the revenue, there's an increment in government revenue.
Right now.
There was a greater increment in government revenue. Even with our
Because
subscription.
it's being locally processed.
That's
So,
it. That's
so
it.
like all the robbers now have to go through the farm gate. Either
Okay.
jetty, fire soon, lack, legal, as I said. It's like-
And these processors now are being compelled now to increase the employment ratio.
Right.
Exactly.
So like in the line of the price, the Rubber Development Fund is a regulatory arm that have been created. You have 2 government representatives, you have 4 processors, and you have 4 producers make the board of the Rubber Development Fund. So the board responsibility is to regulate the price if they come to the price. Like Ivory Coast is the Apromai
Yes.
that set the price.
Okay.
In Sri Lanka, the price is being auctioned on a weekly basis. Every Tuesday and Thursday, they come up with a new price. Why? Because all their rubber produced in Sri Lanka, it had to be processed in Sri Lanka. And manufactured in Sri Lanka, 85% of that production in Sri Lanka, it should be manufactured in Sri Lanka. Only 15%
Goes out.
goes out, and now goes out as unprocessed, go out as a processed rubber. So if you count comparing Liberia and that of Sri Lanka, Liberia had for the 3,000 square kilometer land space. Sri Lanka had 22,000 square kilometers.
Small country.
So in Sri Lanka, if you go far by 2017, our annual production were around 100,000 metric ton. Sri Lanka has close to they have 2,000 metric ton.
Yeah.
Just a difference of 2 tons.
2,000.
Yeah,
Yeah,
200.
200 tons.
200,000.
200,000. But see the differences that come. In Liberia, what was the income generated from the rubber revenue? Well, far behind less. We were talking about 64 million, and while Sri Lanka was in 100 plus million. So you see the differences. So we cannot keep going the way that we are been going and doing things. We are all in the business. Since 1910, rubber being introduced in Liberia. We have not been able as a country to produce anything called made in Liberia as rubber produce. You now have other Liberians, capable Liberians are working on manufacturing like our SS plan. We have like 3 or 4 our SS plans should be coming out sooner. So if we then stating that we should keep going exporting rubber on process, we are harming ourselves as a farmer. It's not helpful. You clearly understand in the context of productions and manufacturing and that of the raw material, The exploitation of raw material that we usually do, we don't have any profit, we don't break even that much, and we don't have any great return
No.
as compared to the finished product. Is where the profit lies. So now we are saying if even the government cannot hide that in the law, but let it be then that the shipment of processed rubber should be for now. The next one will be asking government now that all the rubber that is being processed here, at least 15% should be manufactured.
Manufacturers. This is
So
it.
So
gradually
yeah,
we also
I'm
yeah.
reading a statistic here. In 2022 alone, 2022, Liberia's export of natural rubber were valued at 112.7 million US dollars in 2022.
I
Yeah.
told you that.
It ranked Liberia the 15th largest exporter
Right.
of rubber.
Sure.
So you see what is being taken away.
Right.
We declined.
And
We
they would
decline.
decline because in the 1974, 1979, Liberia was like third largest producers of rubber
In the world.
in the world. And today we are, in fact, most of the time we are nowhere to be or close to Ivory Coast or even Cameroon.
Mhm.
And let me say this to all of us: the government need to work with our DFI, our PLL to regulate the sector.
Okay.
Because we already has started changing the chrome and will bring revenue to government. It's about nobody said government to take money and give it to farmers directly. It's like making the environment fair for business, because farming is a business. We are not just like doing out of the going or not or contributing to the economy of this country. We employ people, and some small farmers like sub, and they pay 4%.
Mhm.
And if the environment is not conducive, look at now how many farms are closed because of these or the complications. The cost of transportation is high, and so many things we are dealing with as
Yeah.
our peer, our DFI. We make sure that these farmers get the right price for that products,
Mhm.
and also give them educations. You're not going to waste your land, especially like the new program we brought the past 2 years, that land management. You're not going to have a land, you just go and plant wild rubber and think that will not benefit you. And even the intercropping, all these things we bring in our farmers and training there. But you got brokers running around to just go on the farm and bring a hanging scale. They say, okay, come that way around. Okay, wait for me, I'm coming back tomorrow. I will bring the money.
Mhm.
So now the payback to the farmer is being like hard to.
Okay.
They will not get it. Some of them are fair, they pay the farmer, but some of them do not pay the farmer.
Okay.
And we don't want to encourage this in the industry.
Let's take calls. Please. I have in studio the heads, the executives of the Rubber Planters Association of Liberia. So call us on 080-514-096, 080-514-096, and be live. What are your concerns? Call us on 080-514-096 and be live on the Super Morning Show this morning. The rubber industry is so important, and this is why the government needs to, every action of the government in this industry will have to be guarded by people like legitimate groups like the Rubber Planters Association of Liberia, because they are the main actors, they are the main players in the rubber industry. Like I said, the government will have to investigate the illegal operation of this group, the alleged illegal operation of this group called Broco Group in Magibi County. Again, the managing director is Savanos Bro. So they have to look at that. They have to launch an investigation and uncover if there are skimmages going on with their operations. But call us on 080-514-096, 080-514-096. Now, let as we are with the course, what are you going to do? I mean, you as RPL, to ensure that groups like the consortium and any other group don't come embarrassing the rubber sector. But let me take this call first. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Bobby.
Good morning. What's the name?
My name is Ebenezer Kuturu. I'm calling from Banga.
Yeah, let me hear you.
Yeah, probably the problem with our country is insincerity. When we appear on this talk show, we gotta be sincere to the Liberian people. When people talk about broker Europe buying and shipping in this country, no broker has even the capacity to buy rubber and ship it all of this country. The thing about the broker is the local farmer don't have people to help them. The broker go in between, get the assay, the net, the rubber cups, and provide it to those people. When they tap the rubber, then they bring it to the broker, then the broker take it to Firestone. That's why, because the RFPA does not help the local farmer. Or talk about that is in studio right now. But I want you to make your own research. Come to Palala.
Okay.
Or talk about is buying rubber. And or talk about former representative Kapia, former senator.
But you don't want to be specific. You don't want to be personal. Just go ahead.
I want to give you a clue so that you can follow.
Yeah. So wrap up quickly.
All of this country. People borrow and ship it all of this country.
Okay.
So it's not encouraging the sincere.
Okay. Let's hear from this person. Good morning.
Good morning, BC, and good morning to the studio guests.
Yeah, let's hear you. What's the name?
Okay, I'm Moses Rooms. I'm going from Magini County, to be specific, Wiala.
Go ahead.
I follow your guests. They have articulated very well. They are directly representing we as small Rubber Farm Horo. I'm a member of the small Rubber Farm Horo. I reside in Wiala. But we support that particular ban. And I'm adding my voice to the executive that are instilled that government should come down hard to ensure that the ban be in full swing. In order to safeguard our farm. Our farm remains safe because of the ban. When the ban is lifted, thieves will go into our various farm, take our crops, our produce, sell to the broker. The broker have no dream for the rubber industry, especially the farmer. We want to call on the president and Brother Baka. Please and listen to us. We are taxpayers. We pay tax. We pay tax every time we sell our road to this company. Please listen to us. Do not leave all the ban. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Call us on 080-514-096, 080-514-096, and be live on the show this morning. Let's hear from this person. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Abdullah Kone. I'm calling you from Bon County this morning from the Kone farm.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you so much. I would like to appreciate my colleagues in the studio, and I want to salute them again for their high level of informing our public about the Rubber Farmer Association, Planters Association of Liberia. And I also want to encourage the government of Liberia that we support the ban on rubber 100%. The unprocessed rubber, the exploitation of unprocessed rubber. For example, I have like 400 acres of land, rubber farm land. And today I am benefiting immensely. I have more workers than ever before. And if the government just lift this ban, do you know what is going to happen to me? Do you know what is going to happen to my colleagues who are listening to me currently?
Okay.
I think we encouraging this government to not touch the ban.
Okay.
We support the ban 100%. And those who are calling the government.
Thank you. Let's hear from this person. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. What's the name?
Yes, I'm John Flomo. I'm calling from Magibi.
Yeah.
Is this here busy?
Yeah. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Okay. Let me say thanks for the studio guests. We appreciate their effort being made so far to make sure that the government of Liberia don't adhere to those criminals calling themselves brokers.
Yeah, please. Yeah, you have to be careful with the choice of word.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, render an apology. Render an apology.
Okay, my apologies.
Okay.
We the farmers, we have been marginalized. We don't get our fair share of what we need. Those people come and buy our rubber for local prices and take it out there and make a lot of money from it. They allow criminals to collect rubber on motorbike, keke, and take it to them for little or nothing. Just last week, we had a situation at SRC Plantation where some criminal went there. They steal rubber. When the security alarm, they went ahead and put part of the plantation on fire. If the people continue to battle rubber and export the unprocessed rubber, we're going to have serious situation.
Okay.
We asked the president to do the needful. He shouldn't listen to the people. The ban should remain in full swing.
Thank you very much. Call us on 080-514-096, 080-514-096, and be live this morning on the Super Morning Show. Let's hear you. Good morning.
Good morning, Vavle.
Yeah, good morning.
Vavle, thanks for having me. My name is Mark Doko, and I call from the office of the Intellectual Alliance of Liberia.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Vavle, let me appreciate you firstly for laying out the basis before the studio guests start to talk.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's important that we stress all these things. I, for one person, support the ban or the moratorium placed on unprocessed rubber. Vavle, for example, I come from Bon County. My big brother worked with a corner group of company. I don't know if it is a rubber company. There was a league group called Corner Group in Bon County.
Yeah, Yanvola.
For the last month, that company have laid off over 100 staffers. So if we have factories and processing rubber in our country, Vavle, we shouldn't be talking about exporting unprocessed rubber. This will create jobs for our people. This will expand the economy and will bring more workforce. But if we start to export our unprocessed rubber, that means we are giving jobs to also people like China, Nigeria. And let's take for an example, like you said, a large group of companies are buying 100% of our rubbers from farmers. League group of companies as well buy 100%. Jetty, for one, who is the newest on the block, buy 100%. So it tells you these companies who are purchasing more unprocessed rubber for finished product, they are good and they are employing more Liberians. And these people have families here. So we should applaud our farmers. We should tell the government that this moratorium should not be left out, this ban should not be left out, because if it is left out, that means we are not doing business as usual. Because George Walker talked about love Liberia, build Liberia, and think Liberia. So we should think about that and let's support the people.
Thank you very much. We can take this last quarter. Good morning. What's your name?
My name is Washington Blaze. I'm calling from Kari, Bon County.
Yeah, go ahead, Washington.
Okay, let me commend your studio guests in studio, and then we are calling on the president now to lift up the moratorium on rubber.
Are you a rubber farmer, local rubber farmer?
Yeah, I'm a local rubber farmer.
Okay.
I have my rubber in Bon County, and then there are a lot of theft that have been taking place when those so-called rubber brokers have been buying rubber. Those guys are not farmers. All they are care about is to get rubber and store it in container to take it from out of this country. Whereas we got companies in this country that are in need of rubber and they are processing rubber, buying rubber from local farmers. So we are calling on the president. We voted for this president to grow the economy of our country, not to take our goods and services to carry to another country for other people to get rich. We are calling on him, and then let me say to you, there's a lead rubber broker right behind Kakata. They call them Buffalo.
Yeah, I'll talk about that. I'll talk about that. Yeah, but go ahead. Yeah, briefly.
Yeah, they are smoking rubber through Guinea, and we are calling on the president to please call on the custom broker to check at the Guinea border. Those guys are bringing rubber, and they are not paying to the Liberian government. So we are calling, and then there are a lot of people who left job in 2016 when laid off the workers in the place because they were not getting rubber. Those rubber companies were closing. So we are calling on the government to please stand in the interest of the people.
Okay.
That's why we call for. So thank you so much. My name is Washington Blaze again.
Thank you. Just this concern here from one John K. Massacre Odolo. He lives in Massacre, Jamaica. He said, do you know that some people are still shipping, including Buffalo near? So this group, just last week, an unscrupulous person went to steal rubber at SRC plantation and security raised alarm while the guards were running. They put fire on the plantation. If you don't stop people from exporting, rogues will burn plantation. This is sad. We have to protect the ban. All right. A lot of support for the ban. We will stop here. It's already 9 o'clock and go back to our guests. So government needs to investigate this Buffalo Robert Bro and Bro somewhere there in Kakata. Yeah, I will start with you again.
Thank you. Let me come in because I was drawing
just briefly.
Mr. Kutulu know that he is a broker and he has been part of the broker union, and he's not saying the truth. The time is to help our local farmers to come over there. We have fair. We have a list of anybody we will take rubber from. And Oliver Carver, he talked about Oliver Carver is a rubber farmer. He got one of the big rubber farmer in Bon County. Let me say this to him. By August 2023, we trained more than 3 times 120 farmers in Palala. The records are there. We are paid for that. And we encourage them. Now we there in Palala, we have a New York room there that we giving to farmers and inside or extended to other part of the upper bone. We encouraging farmers not to insert or to sell rubber to them because number one is that they are not correct. They come to them and promise them everything and make them or lose their rubber and also get in problem with the workers on the farm. So he is not saying any truth, and that is not true.
Okay. I will take that as your parting comments. Then I want to leave Mr. Brown the last. Yeah, Wilhelmina.
Thank you so much for having me here. Before leaving, I will want to encourage all the farmers not to pay a dime to any broker union. They are start putting their gate. Recently, they were around Jetty Inn, they made them to segregate there, robbing farmers to pay them money. That is a normal routine that they usually go about doing. So we encouraging all our farmers, whenever you appear to somebody gate and anyone called and said broker union asking you to pay money, please do not pay. You are paying subscription fee and you are paying tax to the Liberian government, not to them. Thank you. So please do not pay money to anyone called broker union to any gate asking you for any fees. All your fees have been deductible at your point of sales.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Brown.
You.
I want to respectfully appeal to the Minister of Justice, Councillor Toye, and the Honorable Inspector General of the Police to go down through the corridors of Magibi, Bong, and Montserrat to stop the illegal groups for putting checkpoints, harassing peaceful farmers who are bringing the rubber for sale. The community is very hurting us. They should stop that, and we also want to appeal to the national government not to listen to anybody to lift this ban. By doing so, is going back to, practice as usual.
Okay.
This country must transform. We must have a new beginning. We must seek a new horizon. We should stop this. Our national envelope is important and take precedence over all other considerations when it comes to nation building. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, they are from the Rubber Planters Association of Liberia. They've been my guest on the Super Morning Show this morning. Next up, I will be speaking with the president of the T5 University, very shortly on the Super Morning Show this morning. Let's take this break and be right back with my last guests.